Hello and welcome to Fast Track. I'm Rajan Datar. Now, we've all heard about the credit crunch, the liquidity crisis and soaring fuel prices. But will all this gloom and doom infect the travel and tourism industry? This is, after all, a sector that's enjoyed an unprecedented boom in recent times. Are we now staring at a crash? Katarina Scoburn is an innovator in an industry that's desperately in need of new ideas, new markets and efficiency savings: advertising. Her company acts as a marketplace for ads and design ideas to be bought and sold. But ironically, even though its business is largely done online, foreign trips are essential to generate new customers.
We travel almost on a weekly basis. I travel mainly to the United States and elsewhere in Europe. My colleagues will travel to Latin America, to India, to Asia as well. First interaction with the client is always welcome person to person. There is a certain validation that comes in person to person. Also in recruiting staff worldwide where we're establishing our offices, there needs to be a certain, at least one person to person interaction, I find. And sometimes it's just good for company morale to get people together in one room. Yes, I will be coming over. I'm looking at coming over in the second half of the month, next month.
And worries about an impending recession are definitely influencing her future plans. Staff fly economy, and Katarina is always on the hunt for new savings.
Travel websites do a great deal for us, but also a savvy booker within the company is always very, very welcome. It's still very much a craft in maneuvering through the various offers on the web and elsewhere.
Finding new ways to curb expenditure on corporate travel is just one consequence of the global credit crunch, triggered last summer by a high number of defaults on subprime or high-risk mortgages in the United States. The question now is, how severe will the effect of tighter borrowing conditions and hence consumer spending be on the travel industry as a whole? After all, in the past, travel was seen as a luxury and highly vulnerable in difficult times. And what's more, the economy most directly in the firing line, the US, is the world's biggest tourism economy. Well, the view from the industry is, yes, there will be a cyclical downturn, but don't panic.
We'll definitely see a contraction, yes, definitely. In the US, most probably. In Western Europe, yes, but not as big contraction that in the US. But on the other hand, what is very interesting is that the consumption of travel and tourism is very resilient. To an image, people might delay buying a new car, but they might less delay going on vacation, even though it's only domestic instead of international travel, but people will still go on vacation.
There's no doubt that after years of very healthy growth rates across the industry, 2008 is going to mark a slowdown to about 3%. But the prognosis seems to be that different sectors and regions will be affected in very different ways. Take the hotel industry. A weak dollar and a strong euro means that a leisurely summer touring Europe's capitals and historical landmarks is going to be somewhat pricier for American tourists. But expert opinion says wallets and purses in the US are not completely emaciated.
The price of houses has gone down and the price of equities has gone down, but they went up a lot over the several years beforehand, so people have still got the residual good feeling from all the rises in wealth that they saw during that period of time.
There is one fundamental difference between this downturn and previous recessions. The fate of the travel industry is no longer as reliant on one market, the United States.
You know, we have been talking about globalization for years. It's here now. When you look at India, where 174 million households have the same standard of living than you and me, can you imagine that market? And it's growing fast.
The simple fact is that in 2008, emerging travel markets in China, India, Russia and the Middle East will temper any negative effects from the US and Europe.
We're seeing lots and lots of visitors going from China, lots and lots of people going from Russia around Europe to ski resorts, to the Middle East, and that is increasingly going to happen for India and Brazil as well. So it's been part of the numbers. We're really starting to see it there, and we're starting to see the resilience of those economies.
Take the Middle East, where expenditure on tourism rolls merrily on, and optimism in resorts, hotels and airlines seems to have no bounds.
Our assets are not so heavily deployed in Europe as it is for other airlines. In addition to this, we do not operate except 2 destinations in the United States. Qatar Airways again is in a very unique situation whereby we could very quickly deploy our assets to markets where there is still, an increase in business, where the economies of those countries are doing well.
So right now the message appears to be that tourism and travel ain't a bad business to be in right now. A forecast of $8 trillion in revenue for 2008 is testimony to that. Thanks firstly to our addiction in the West to holidays, whatever our economic circumstances, and more significantly because emerging markets are picking up the slack left by poor Uncle Sam.
It used to be a time when the America was sneezing, the rest of the world had a cold and most probably a pneumonia. Nowadays, when the Americans are sneezing, the rest of the world goes shopping.